I am Kay Kurd.
I'm Marcus Bronzy.
This is Ain't Got a Clue.
It's a show where we find the answer to quiz questions.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. One of us asks the other a quiz question, and then together we have a conversation to guarantee that we all remember the answer.
Exactly. That's it. What is today's question, Kay? What have you got for me?
So, how much is in a baker's dozen?
I ain't got a clue.
It's 13.
Unlucky for some.
Unlucky for some. Have you ever heard this phrase, a baker's dozen?
I have heard it before. And was I leaning into the format of the show when I answered with I ain't got a clue? I may have been.
Oh,
a little bit.
so you did know.
You know, I like my food, I like my carbs. I like my carbs. But I'm going to roll with the audience on this and say, ain't got a clue.
So no, okay, well, I had no clue in it. Like,
That's
I didn't
fine.
know.
That's totally
When people
fine.
would talk about a baker's dozen, I'd just be like, oh.
You'd be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I had no idea. I was legit always just like, what is a baker? I genuinely thought a baker's dozen was like half or something.
It would make sense, innit? Like a baker doesn't be like 6 because you get 6 rolls in a
Exactly.
bag. I get it. Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
thought it would be like half or something, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, why don't they just call it 6?
Exactly.
Like,
No, it makes total sense.
But yeah, that wasn't the case.
What is the case though?
No, I mean, well, I'll get on to that, but I
Okay.
just find it funny that like there's an actual numerical value put on an occupation. So I
Yeah.
remember in a previous episode where I was like, type in whatever and film.
yeah.
Type in your occupation and
Yeah,
film.
okay.
And it was, we don't really have that with numbers. We have this, like, you don't get like a podcaster's prime number.
I've got one that I'd like, a planking minute, because I feel like a minute when you're planking is it's the longest minute
That is
ever.
That is genius. Like, you don't often say things that are absolutely genius, Marcus, right? You say really funny things, but like genius. I don't use this word lightly. You know when some people just go, oh, you're a genius. This is a moment where I think we should bask in your genius, because just repeat that again one more time.
A planker's minute.
A planker's minute. Now, a lot of people say time is relative, right? And it is.
It is
right?
relative.
But none so more than when you are planking, right? And people are like, 20 more seconds, and you're like, 20 more seconds?
I've been planking for an hour and a half. Why? That's how I feel like. Like 10 seconds in, I'm like, no, this is definitely been an hour and a half. Yeah.
Well, you're just there, like, you're like, you get into that position, you put your elbows there, then you're like, right, let me take my knees off the ground, and then go. And then you're just thinking about anything. You're like, what am I going to do? Just to try and take your mind off of your abs.
Yeah.
Like, at this point in time, your whole body is shaking, yeah?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to look at the clock again. 13 seconds gone.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah. What is going on?
It's wild. And it's like, I go on stage, typically at a comedy club,
Yeah.
for 20 minutes a night, right?
Yeah.
20 minutes on stage doesn't feel long when you're performing, right?
Okay.
If it's going well, might I add.
Okay, all right.
If it's going well, feels like that flew by. If it's
That's
not
like a crushing minute.
exactly,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
It is like it is like an orgasmic minute.
All the men listening go, get it totally. All the women go, huh?
Guys were like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, do you know what? Last night, bruv, I was there for hours, bruv. I was there in different positions. I was smashing it, bruv. And you're
Then I
like,
looked up at
really?
the clock and realised it's 5 minutes past 10.
I've been here for 2 minutes. And 3 of those was 30 seconds of that was me just putting her into different positions.
That was just me taking off my socks, bro.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, like, how our concept of time changed. And I think that Planker's minute is the perfect, because a Planker's minute feels like an hour.
It feels. What would be the opposite though? Where would we go with the opposite of a planker's minute? I think an orgasmic minute.
Yeah,
would
that's what I was
take
going to
it.
say. Yeah,
that would
because
do,
people
yeah.
thinking, oh man, I was there for time, bro.
Yeah,
You weren't. In terms of other thing, what kind of numbers? Because like, what would be a podcaster's dozen?
A podcaster's season would be a season of 6 to 12 episodes.
6 weeks.
Yeah, you know, like they have like serial and stuff like that. Yeah, 6 or 12.
A podcaster's week, a season. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like 6 weeks. Like,
Yeah, 6 or 12 weeks. You could have a podcast.
It's like a fortnight, innit?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
When people call something a fortnight,
a fortnight.
and you're like, I swear we've done an episode on that, haven't we?
Fortnightly. Have we done an episode on fortnightly?
I
If
think
not,
we have.
Put it on the list.
I think we have.
Okay.
I
All
believe
right.
we have. Let's go back and listen. This is a problem when you don't have proper producers and it's just you and your friend doing it. Yeah. We don't have an absolute directory of our shows. And do you know what? It's been a podcaster season since we done season 1.
It has been.
Right. But anyway, I can't lie. Yeah, just speaking about bakers is making me hungry. I love a baked good, and I'm not usually one for a sweet tooth. But donuts. Marcus knows this because last year for my birthday, Marcus sent me a whole box of donuts, and I was like, for fuck's sake, bro, I'm trying to lose weight.
How did you? I felt bad, but I also felt it's your birthday. You should enjoy yourself. So that cancelled out.
I was like, this is amazing, and I was trying to get my brothers to eat it and stuff like that. It was lockdown. I was with my brother, and they were like, "Nah, bro, too much sugar." In it. So each of them had like one, and I'm there like, well, I guess I better have another. I think I gave one to the dog as well. I was like, fuck it.
Yes,
like,
right. So I got to enjoy it. Which one did you have? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but bro, like it was nice. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. But like, I do love a baked good, right? And I was thinking, right, what's your best baked goods? Top 3.
Ooh, top 3. Okay. So let's put donut in 3rd place, right?
Damn, you took the donut and he went 3rd. Homer Simpson would not be happy with your choice, brother.
But then next we would have, and tell me if this doesn't count as a baked good, but a cheesecake, because I know cheesecakes aren't cooked, but I kind of put
a bakery.
That bakery, yeah.
It's in a bakery.
Bakery cheesecake I'll go with. I love cheesecake. However, I think at the top of the list for me is another cake, red velvet cake.
Red velvet, ain't that just like chocolate cake with like hair dye?
It is. I understand why you think that. But when you get the red velvet cake,
it's basically chocolate cake in Louboutins.
It's just fancy cake that's like,
no,
hey.
it is though. It is. It's just literally chocolate cake in Louboutins.
The icing, with
red bottoms on.
Yeah, with red bottoms, the fanciest. The icing on it is a little bit different, but yeah, I'll give you that. But this is me cheating and giving you a fourth thing, right?
Here we go.
Red velvet cheesecake. Orgasmic minute.
Hold on. A red velvet cheesecake donut.
Oh my, could you imagine? Could you imagine walking into a bakery and just being like,
oh my God, that would be an orgasm.
Can I have a dozen of those, please?
A baker's dozen or a normal dozen?
How about you, Kay?
I would. Do you know what? I'm gonna go for like things that you could readily get.
Sorry, bruv. The cheesecake inside the donut. Well,
there's cronuts now as well, isn't it? Where it's like a croissant and a donut mixed, which is probably comes up to my preferences. And I will say, like, I don't really have a lot of baked goods, right? Yeah. But when I do, like, I'm like, I love them, innit?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go for like cakes and stuff because I'm going for the ones that you can get on the go. Like you just roll into like a place and get them and go, do you know what? Like, this is what I want. So, pain au chocolat.
Is that third place?
Well, I mean,
it's just in and around.
I'm not even giving them positions, right? Because I think a lot of this, a lot of our listeners are listening and going, do you know what? Depends on what I fancy.
Yeah. You
know what I mean, some things can tickle my fancy at different times.
I feel like pain au chocolat, speaking of times, a bit more of a morning thing. I don't know why. Just because it's what the French do. Yeah.
And an almond croissant.
That's good. That's another good one.
Almond croissants are like, people normally go for an all butter croissant, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's like, I feel with that, it requires too much planning. You have to have another knife with you. You have to maybe toast it or warm it up, put some jam on it or whatever. Having it by itself, it's a little dry and that, do you know what I mean? Whereas when you get an almond croissant, it's got that nice gooey thing in the middle.
Almond paste. I don't even know what it's called.
I feel like it's apple that they put in there. I don't know what it is, but then you have that and it's got a little crusty bits on top. And I always go donuts as well. And donuts, do you know what? I feel like we're just chickening out about putting donuts as a category. Because donuts is a wide category. You can get ring donuts, you can get jam donuts.
Yes.
You could get like Krispy Kreme kind of donut, original.
You can get red velvet cheesecake donuts, which you just invented.
And also, when you talk about bakers, what bakers are we talking about? This is what I'm saying, right? Because there are categories of bakers, right?
Yeah.
So we're going for like a Pret, a Greggs, a Gales.
Do you know what?
If you're a North Londoner, Wenzel's, whatever the fuck that is.
That's a very good point. And I have to say, whilst you do get the greater tasting goods from the more expensive places, I have got a soft spot for Greggs, and I think the soft spot is in my wallet because They are so reasonably priced. You remember like the reports actually, like people like over the last few years of lockdown, it looks like, you know, they were like all of these companies have shut down, and then they're like numbers for Greggs have gone up by
Shot up by 30%.
and they're like everybody's asking why. Do they think it's because of the? And I'm like no, it's because it's cheap, bro.
I will say one thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you see a Gales in your area, that is gentrification complete.
Oh, yes.
That is house prices are now out of your reach.
Done.
That is you live in an area where crime has probably reduced by 70%. Just by Gales being there,
Yes.
crime has gone now. Your
Exactly.
area is fine now, yeah?
Yeah.
There is going to be yummy mummies there.
Yep.
There will be a shop there very soon where it sells stuff that has no packaging, where you just go there with your own containers and fill it up. It is that kind of place. People that listen to Mumford & Sons will now be in your area. There will no longer be posters for raves and stuff there.
There'll be no pubs. There'll just be craft beer
Joints, absolutely, right?
Just craft beer.
With a Pret, sort of like, it's in between. Like there might be a tube station in your area.
Yep.
And it's very near the tube, lots of footfall, yeah? Greggs, Universal.
100%. Anywhere.
Greggs will be like, oh, you're posh, we don't care. You like a sausage roll, don't you, lad? Just come in, come in, pal. Come in.
Yeah.
Come
Come
on,
on.
look at that. Have that sausage roll.
Yeah.
Look, oh, you're vegan? No matter, pal. We've got another vegan sausage roll
They
here.
got vegan steak bake.
We've got
as well,
vegan
innit?
steak
Oh,
bake as well. Well, listen, pal, we don't care, mate. We're giving.
Come in. Yeah.
We're giving. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We're ubiquitous. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we believe that everybody should have this Greggy goodness. Gregory here telling you to come to Greggs. It's fucking mint.
If
Oh,
Greg's had a voice, that would be the voice of Greg's.
it would be. Gales would be
100%.
like, hello.
Hello. What do you want?
Pret would be like, bonjour.
Um.
So yeah, let's talk about a baker's dozen.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to that
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, we got so excited about see what donuts did to us there.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you were doing a plank, that segment that was just gone before this would have lasted for 2 hours. If you were eating a donut, what we were just talking about would have lasted for a minute.
There you go,
There
absolutely.
you go.
There you go. The concept of time is merely within our minds. Which, by the way, while we're recording this, right? We're recording this the weekend after daylight savings has come into effect.
Yes.
Abolish daylight savings.
I saw you talking about this on Instagram.
This is pointless. Why do we have this? We don't work in factories anymore. Anyway,
I am loving the brighter mornings though, and the
I
brighter
am,
evenings.
but when we change it back, you go from like, oh yeah, gradual like dark to bang.
Worse.
It's like
Batman.
dark at 4 p.m.
You live in
immediately.
Gotham. You
Yeah.
move back into Gotham.
Do you
yeah.
see where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, just keep it one level all year round and then it won't mess up with our circadian rhythms. Anyway, that's the difference.
We did touch on that with the Russian time zones episode
Yeah.
that we recorded, which, by the way, somebody did message us about that. I just want to be clear. We recorded that a very long time ago. We recorded that in the year 2021. Okay, I just want to say that. I had to explain that to somebody on
Yeah,
Instagram.
of course. Like,
But
that
yeah.
wasn't recent.
Yeah.
Anyway, a baker's dozen, where did it originate from? So apparently it's widely believed that this practice came from medieval English bakers.
Yes.
And they gave an extra loaf when selling a dozen in order to avoid being penalized for selling short weight.
Short weight. What is short weight?
So I'll explain in a minute, right? The practice of adding an extra loaf came in several centuries before the phrase, okay? And England's got a long history of regulation of trade, right? So we've got trading standards.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a trading standards in the UK. You know about trading standards, don't you?
I
Right?
don't say, I've not had a lawsuit.
No, you haven't,
It sounded
but-
like, hey, do you know what it's funny? You know about trading standards,
Yeah.
don't you? I'm like, how did you know, Kay?
Marcus, after Donut Gate, where
did you
you
know,
were
Kay?
selling donuts illegally.
How did you know I was selling donuts on the donut black
he
market?
was selling. He was like, listen. He went to Greg's, right? And Marcus went to Greg's. This is what happened, right? He went to Greg's and he was like, hello, Greg. And he was like, you're right, pal. Marcus, I haven't seen you in a while. Got an invention for you. Well, what's that? It's a red velvet cheesecake donut. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why Marcus has gone northern now.
Yeah, that's right.
I've mixed up the characters. Hold on. I've got a red velvet cheesecake donut. And he's gone, lad, we can't find the margins for that. That's way too many ingredients to keep it at a decent price point. Marcus has gone, no, we won't put real cheese in it. We'll put like something else, but still market it as cheese. And Trading Standards overheard this conversation.
Jeez.
Marcus had to go to court.
It was a
It's
sting.
long.
It was a sting operation, you know. I got done by a sting operation, Kay.
Greg basically snitched.
Yeah.
Greg snitched on him. He's like, I'm not having this. You can't fool the public. Greg's is a place of integrity. We're not going to sell fake cheesecake donuts. So then what he was like, I'm taking this to trading standards. But Bams was like, nah, brother, what are you doing? We're taking this to trading standards for, brother. Calm down, man. We're having a conversation. Right. Anyway, Marcus withdrew the idea and we are where we are.
There we go. I escaped with a very small fine and I'm not allowed to sell flour-based goods in the UK.
No, he is. It just has to be a mile away from a Greg's if he's doing it.
Restraining order.
Yeah.
When I want a Greg's, I have to get it by proxy. Someone has to go for
He
me.
has to go on a delivery website to get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently the practice of adding an extra loaf came several centuries beforehand, right?
Okay.
Because bakers were regulated by a trade guild called the Worshipful Company of Bakers, which dates back to the reign of Henry II. Did you know him?
Henry, cool guy.
Henry II.
Henry II, clearly somebody who likes pastries as much as us. Because
Absolutely. 1154, by the way. 1154 to 1189. So
this is a long time ago. So we were enjoying pastries for a long time. And this is when, there were a lot less distractions and a lot less fun things in life. There's no
100%.
internet. There's no social media. There was no YouTube. All they had were the delights of food.
carbs.
Yeah, carbs. For them, picking apples in an orchard was like going sweet shopping, pretty much.
One of life's delightful pleasures.
Yes.
Marcus, come with me. Come
Yes.
into my garden.
Oh, look at this.
Is there many more pleasures
This
than picking an apple
It's
in an
delightful.
orchard?
It's delightful. Look at it. It's so lovely.
You know,
summer colours.
You know the great Sir Isaac Newton
Yes.
owes a lot to apples.
Is that
It just said that. Actually, wait, was this before?
it doesn't.
Did Isaac Newton?
Let's
did
play
Isaac
along.
Newton?
Let's play. Let's
Whatever.
pretend it was.
If it was, it was. If it wasn't, this is why it's called Ain't Got a Clue. Because why? We ain't
Yeah,
got a clue, bruv, right?
It is said that Isaac Newton developed his theory for gravity
Yes.
In the gardens of Oxford University,
Yes.
or maybe Cambridge, I don't know which one.
while he was sitting under one of these apple trees, and
Lovely.
the apple hit his head.
Delightful.
And this is how we came up with the concept of gravity.
I shall take that story back home with me after the weekend, and I shall share it with my fellow friends.
Thank you. Take it back to 2022 week.
Have you ever had any like things like regulation annoy you in any aspect? Our parking regulations really annoy me.
Parking regulations. I think I get it. I get it. But obviously, that is frustrating if you ever get nabbed for a ticket if you misread a sign. I am worried. This is a little bit serious now. Your pint is only supposed to have a certain amount of head on it. If it has too much head on it, the white creamy bit at the top, you're legally allowed to go back and say, "Hang on, listen, mate. Need less head on that. Less head, please. More beer.
That's the first time I've ever heard you say less head. Usually Marcus is a massive advocate for head. Imagine guy in prison though if you didn't bake enough bread.
What a way to.
What a way to go.
What are you in for then, mate?
I didn't bake enough bread.
What do you mean, Gregory?
Well, I didn't break it. No,
This is, by the way, this is Gregor. He's Gregory's like
Long distance.
long
So
distance.
this is where Greg's
ancestor.
So
do you know what I
Greg's
mean?
was founded
Right.
off mafia crime,
Hold
donut crime. So you're talking about he's the originator, and they
He's
clean
like,
their money up over the years.
oh no, the king has said I didn't bake enough bread. But I dream one day that my ancestors. I dream that one day my children and my great grandchildren will have a baker's far and wide that sells enough bread and baked goods for everybody.
What are you
But
going to call
until-
it? What are you going to call it though?
Hopefully they call it
Gregors?
Gregors. Yes.
It's a bit long though. It's a bit long. It doesn't really roll off the tongue well.
I don't mind, Marcus. Just it's my fantasy.
all right,
Okay,
all right.
This is my dreams.
All right.
I just hope that we can be far and wide everywhere. And me and my Gail will never fight ever again.
Is Gail that posh wife that you keep talking about? She makes all that posh stuff. And
She left me when she realised I was in prison because the king sent me here.
Could you imagine that was the backstory for Gales and Greg's? They were related and they split off in two different directions. That sounds absolutely fantastic. I could imagine the prison around Gregor slowly going, Gregor, 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 Greg's. And that's where it came from.
Absolutely, you're right. The law caused bakers to be so wary The law that caused bakers to be so wary was the assize of bread and ale.
Ass size of bread and ale, because after enough bread and ale, my ass be getting some size in it as well.
It legit looks like it says our size.
It does say our size.
So I mean, here's the thing: could it be? I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I don't know what ass size means, right? I'm gonna go and say it means our size. Could it be that the king, right, was originally he was original Sir Mix-a-Lot or whatever his name is, yeah.
Okay. Right.
And he was I like big butts and I can't deny.
He likes
right?
our size and he can't deny.
And he was like, if you don't sell enough bread and enough carbs, these booties ain't gonna grow, bro. So what you need is to make sure there's enough loaves when you sell your bread.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For the booty to grow.
King's out there. Kings have done crazier things. King's out there and he wants thick.
I think
he wants his constituents to be thick.
I think he wanted all of us to have big bums because it was our size of bread and ale.
Bread and ale, guarantee you, is going to put some size on that ass.
On the boot, it's going to put size on elsewhere as well.
Yeah,
but I think back then they liked a little bit of that.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Mate, it meant you were living good.
Exactly. I don't think six packs were all the rage back then. It was you need an ass our size of a massive. I want you all to look like stallions.
Yeah.
Yeah, my master, my lord. Word has come from the Great North.
What has happened? What has happened in the Great North?
A baker called Gregor. He's selling baked goods far and wide. He is adhering valiantly to the our size
of bread and ale. Who is this Gregor? Send him in. Bring him to me. I want to thank him in person. See him bare big booty.
Big booties.
Big booty men and women walking around and he's just like, I love this. I love this all.
More bread.
Why, thank you, Lord. Thank you for your pardon. I spent 6 weeks in His Majesty's jail.
Anyway, in 1266, Henry III revived an ancient statute that regulated the price of bread according to the price of wheat. I don't know, anytime I see anybody talk about the price of wheat and food goods and stocks and that, it reminds me of the film Trading Places.
Yes. Wenthrop.
If we get the crop report really early on, all of that anyway.
And the price of frozen OJ was a thing as well.
Frozen OJ back then, right? Who would have frozen OJ? We don't know, but what a great film. So bakers or brewers who gave a short measure could be fined, pilloried. I don't know what the hell that means. Do you want to Google that, Marcus?
Pilloried?
Yeah, pilloried or flogged. As in 1477, when the Chronicle of London reported that a baker called John Mundu was scrived, which means forced to admit his guilt, upon pillory for selling bread that was underweight.
So pillory is when you attack or ridicule somebody publicly. So they roasted him. They gave him
so he got cancelled on Twitter.
They got a public roasting. They everyone saying, "This is the roast of John Mundu." Look at you, John. You ain't had no ass. You got no ass.
John Mundu be, hey man, John Mundu be selling that underweight bread. He don't want anybody to have big booty. You go into John Mundu's. You got some flat ass people in there. Ain't nobody with ass cheeks anywhere in that building, man.
What say you, John Mundu, of these accusations?
I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't have enough R size for my bread and ale.
I believe that my scales were incorrect. This wasn't.
I believe that my scales were incorrect, for Your Majesty. It was not something that I'd done deliberately.
Hey, shut up, man. Hey, look, everybody. John walks like this with no ass.
John looks like a motherfucking grass.
Thank you all for coming to the pillory of John Mundu. See you next week.
Next week on VH1.
DJ, hit it.
It's not quite a neat explanation, right? But whenever bakers sold 12 loaves, they then added another identical loaf to make it 13.
Right.
They would have just as much concern when they were selling 11 loaves, but there's no such thing as a baker's 11. No. The R size, or whatever it is, however you pronounce that, yeah.
Should we
Google that word as well, actually? Because it would make sense.
I like the mispronunciation.
Regulated weight.
Let's sit in that R size.
Because it regulated weight, not number. So it didn't matter if you put 12 loaves of bread, they're like, but it's not the right weight in it.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, the best way to put this, right? Imagine some narcos type scenario where it's like hola, how much is the weight of the bread? It's 12 in there, but that is not the weight. You have provided me with 12 loaves, but I do not see the weight that we agreed on. We agreed on a specific weight. Essentially that kind of thing.
That's wicked. So they throw on the extra 13th one to just hush them up, basically.
Well, it was basically just to be like made sure of, right?
It makes sense. That
like,
makes total sense.
It was just one of them ones, you know what I mean? Just one of them one.
All right.
One of them ones.
So adding a little bit extra to make sure that your weight ain't short.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I like
Because you're like, just to make sure, right?
Why isn't more customer service like that, man?
I don't know, man. But what the bakers were doing, even when they sold bread in any quantity, and they were adding something extra, the addition was called an inbread or a vantage loaf.
Inbread.
Yeah.
That means something very different now.
Yeah, but it's spelt differently. So it's IN hyphen
All right.
bread.
Okay.
Not BRED, but actual bread. Right?
Okay.
So when selling in quantity or to middlemen or wholesalers, they would add an extra loaf or two. So when selling single loaves to individuals, they'd offer a small piece of bread with it.
So
like, say if I gave you like pita bread,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you like I'll give you a smaller pita bread as well with it, and be like, boom, that makes the weight, bruv.
Topped you up.
Just
innit?
to give you a look, yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is.
Okay.
Now, the worshipful company still exists, and reports that this is carried on within living memory, and that a small bread was given often in each loaf. It doesn't really happen anymore, though. Like when I go like Tesco or Lidl or wherever, Marcus goes to more like Marks and Spencer's and where he goes. And that. Like, Marcus is often like, I've bought Marcus sandwiches, and he goes, "Where's this bread from?" And I was like, "Why does that matter?" And I was like, because I only eat like gluten-free from wheat bread.
Is this gluten-free?
He sort of. I remember one time we went out to eat, and I was sort of like, "Yo, let's just go to Tesco and walk in." And Mark's away outside.
I can't be seen.
I can't be seen here. He's got a very distinguished taste, right? And he can sort of, given by like the baked goods that he chose, you can tell this is a man that's tasted the finer things in life. That explains why we do it, but it doesn't explain phrase. It goes back to 1599. Here's a weird quote from John Cook's Tu Quoque. Oh, I don't know what the hell that is, right? But he goes, "Mine's a baker's dozen. Master Bubble, tell your money."
Okay.
Well, what he
Bars.
did actually say was, "Mine's a baker's dozen. Master Bubble, tell your money." But you know what? I don't know who this guy is, right? I don't know who this guy is. But sounds like a rap punchline.
I
if ever
think
saw
so.
one.
Sounds like a big bar. Like, you know, one of those ones that they'd sing along at a concert. It'd be like, "Mine's a baker's dozen. Master Bubble, tell your money."
Tell your money right. Tell your money right. Tell me money.
And the audience will go crazy.
Marcus, give me your best bread-related punchline. Boom.
I was going to say something loaf related. I mean, so that pun wasn't the best thing since sliced bread, then, I guess.
No, I mean, I was expecting you to say something like, "Yo, I get dough."
Oh, you wanted a rap pun?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant just a pun.
No,
A rap pun.
as in like a rap punchline.
Boy, I get more dough than Greg's. There's more dough passing through my hands than Greg's, bruv.
Okay,
What? Come on.
Okay.
Bars.
The R-size try to regulate my weight.
Hey!
Told him you can't control my fate. Yeah? I get bread, no money.
Hey.
Baker's dozen, I give you 13 for 12.
What? 30 for 12?
Can't find anything to rhyme with 12. I let the audience work it out themselves.
Oh, come on. Put your loaves in the sky, wave them side to side.
Put your baguettes in the sky for the
Your focaccia.
The focaccia. But yeah, anyway, the phrase is related to the practice described in John Goodwin's "A Being Filled with a Spirit," referring to a quote from 1665. "As what which we call the inbread is given into the dozen, there is nothing properly paid or given for it, but only for the dozen." This
Okay.
man spoke in weird ways, but it made sense.
Okay, so the inbread is given into the dozen,
There's nothing properly paid and given for it, but only for the dozen. Hold on. Let's get these two quotes here. Put a rap beat on top of it. Mine's a baker's dozen, Master Bubble, tell your money. And then he goes, it's what we call the inbred is given into the dozen. There's nothing properly paid for it or given for it, but only for the dozen. Tell your mom and tell your cousin.
What?
Anyway, by 1864, Houghton's A Dictionary of Modern Slang, Cant and Vulgar Words gives this explicit definition for a baker's dozen.
This consists of 13 or 14, the surplus number, called the inbred, being thrown in for fear of incurring the penalty for short weight.
So some people threw in a 14th.
Yeah, just in case.
So
Very rarely.
Wow. So some people were like, hey, 13 is not enough. I'm going to throw in the 14th to make sure, I'm doubly not short.
Absolutely. This one is the correct.
Absolutely.
That's
That's hype.
That's it. So, Marcus, how
much is in a baker's dozen?
Yeah.
Is the question. The answer, I believe, is 13.
Absolutely. This one is correct.
Actually, sometimes if you want to be super smart at a party and someone says 13, you go, actually, guys, sometimes the inbred, which is what they called it, there's sometimes 2, so it can sometimes be
Very rarely.
14.
Very rarely.
It's something to do with the R size, but I'll leave that with you. Done.
Wow.
There we go.
There we go.
That was awesome, man. I like that. This was a very good episode of Ain't Got a Clue. Thank you for that, Kay.
Thank you very much. This has been Ain't Got a Clue. Remember, we do drop Patreon episodes as well on our Patreon. Ain't Got a Clue. Search for it there. And we drop an episode every week, ad-free, as well as this one very early. So go and get that.
Link in the description.
Go and follow Marcus. He's on Twitch every day. Go and follow me. I do things. And have a great day. Bye-bye.
This podcast was created by Kay Card and This podcast was created by Kay Card and Marcus Bronzy with sound design from the lovely Matt Farvin. Be in your ear hole soon. Bless.